Now, one thing I've realized over the years that I've been following Marvel movies is that they're brilliant at marketing. So here we go, telling you some tips that you can take for your brand, any brand that you have, and how you can learn from these lessons to apply into your own business. Firstly, assuming that you have a great quality of your product, you should always ensure that the quality of your product is very good. So, like if you're into baking, then ensure that your baking products are good in terms of good quality. If you're a photographer, then you know that your photographs are at par. One of the things that I love about Marvel is that they have not gone down on their quality; they have always just upped their quality. So that's not that a quality has more a long-term longevity for your business. So let's dive in. Here are the marketing tips you can learn from Marvel. Okay, number one is planning. Now, I know that if you've done your MBA, I haven't done my MBA, but this is just what I've observed about Marvel. Planning is really important. I mean, in everything in life, not just business or, for entrepreneurs, but planning and strategizing is something that Marvel did really well. They launched their superhero films with the end game in mind. Even the contracts were renewed with Endgame in mind, which means that this movie that's releasing this next Friday, the plan for this was like probably 5 to 10 years ago, which meant that when they introduced Ant-Man, they already knew that Ant-Man would be featured in these films. Even the point where they hired people who were agreeable to each other, they built a team. It was all planning and strategizing. So planning and strategizing is really important. If Thor has a personality, what his personality is, has something to do with what the endgame eventually will be. Captain Marvel, her personality, eventually it leads to this brilliant trailer. So they have been planning these films from the beginning. So they knew that, even in terms of their teasers, that their teasers would tease into future films which you would not have any connection to. However, if you go back and watch all the end credit scenes, it all matches, it all works out. This has been years in planning and application. So planning and strategy is really important in terms of business. Then the second thing I want to tell you is about engaging with social media. That's something that they have done brilliantly, not just with themselves. As Marvel, they are active on Twitter and Facebook, and they have their own pages that they're pushing, but they even put these viral type videos out, memes out, and even spoilers out, which were planned to engage the audience. So like a Spider-Man spoiled like the poster, and trust me, this is all marketing, and it's genius, because then he's a bit of a goof, and so that when you watch the film, you can expect comedy from him. So it's well thought out engagement in social media. So with planning and strategizing, you apply that into your social media, whether it's your Instagram posts or your tweets or your Facebook posts. A lot of businesses, and I have been I have done this a lot. I just randomly post things, and I haven't really put too much thought into it. However, if you really think about it, when you post, what you post can engage more audiences. Like, for example, even me, this is not clickbait, but yeah, me talking about Endgame also, I also know that a lot of people are interested in Endgame right now. It's the hot topic. So I'm not strategizing my post. Of course, I'm strategizing my post. I'm excited about Endgame, and I think they're brilliant marketers, and I really felt like talking about it. So for me, it is also instinctive. But I would not talk about this maybe 2 years from now, because it would not be relevant. So looking at what is relevant, talking about hot topics, talking about what's trending is important in terms of how to apply your businesses to grow. So if, for example, it is Christmas, you will not talk about Easter. I mean, you may talk about Easter and the significance of Easter and Christmas, but in terms of business, you will not release Easter eggs on Christmas. You will release Christmas desserts. So similarly, in your businesses, think about the time, the where we are, who, what, where, when, why, and apply that into your business even when you're engaging in social media. And the third point, like first point was plan and strategize, and that's really important. And second is really apply social media. And the third is engage with audiences. Now you will think, Sangeeta, you just said social media. Isn't that the same as engaging with audiences? And I'm here to tell you, my friends, engaging with audiences is not the same thing as social media, because your social media face is an unknown number. It may be some known people, but actually meeting people face to face, business wise, is very, very important to know what the recently my brownies are a huge hit, and one of my friends, who's also my loyal customer, she said, I think you're pricing your brownies too low. And when we did the math, it turned out that she was right. Now she's my customer. However, she gave me an insightful intake. Now I would never get this from a social media audience. However, because I was face to face with her, she was able to give me feedback. That's essential. Now, how this applies with Marvel, they go to Comic Cons, they interact with fans, they do interviews. So their engagement with, of course, interviews then are played in media, but they have many moments where they interact with fans on an individual level, hence pushing their brand, pushing themselves, pushing their superhero up and far. Again, this is all strategized and planned out. However, Marvel has always believed in not just an online presence. They also send their stars out to meet audiences. So you have a lot of meet and greets. Comic-Con is huge. They make these special appearances in the middle of conferences. So engaging with your audiences on a face-to-face level is very vital. Whatever your business is, it's vital to engage with your customers and understand their needs, so you can tweak what you have as a business to their needs, because eventually we're all about the people. You're not AI. You wish you were, but you're not AI. Then the next one, the fourth one, is leave cliffhangers. Now this is a beautiful lesson I've learned from telenovelas. Leave them wanting more, which means that it's hard sometimes, but to apply it into your own business. But think about how you can leave cliffhangers. Sometimes you can add a menu, like a lot of restaurants do this, that they pack the food for you and then they leave their menu, or they give a discount card, or a scratch card. Or Domino's does this brilliantly, where they you order a pizza and then they give you like a bunch of coupons which you can apply in your next orders. So always give your audience a little more than what they signed up for. Just like in Marvel films, where they leave these cliffhangers, or these end credit scenes, where you know that you want to come back, like Endgame is the last, everyone knows it's the last, but you also know that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is coming, and so is Spider-Man. So of course you know that it's not going to end, because they're going to leave cliffhangers for that. So always leave your audience gripped in waiting for the next. What is next? What is going to be in the next thing? This will take a little time if you have strange products, but think about how you can grab and give more to your customer. And finally, and this is very difficult for some businesses, but have merchandise. Marvel brilliantly has commercialized their their brand with killer merch, and not all of it is expensive, unlike Disney, where it's so expensive, although now Disney is cutting into Marvel. But having merchandise for your brand, like for example, if you have a dessert shop, you have aprons, or like a Cupcake Gemma does this. She has aprons and cups and gloves that she sells along with her shop, along with her YouTube channel. having merch really gives your fans something to hold on to and something to remember you by. Now, a lot of fans may not buy your stuff initially, but eventually, if you have enough engaging merch, like, again, understanding your audience, when you engage with your audience, like, for example, I didn't know that people like cups, like mugs. And when I printed my own mug for my photographer, I got like people ordering those mugs, and I was like, I didn't know it's such a big deal. But I realized that people want a piece of you, and that piece of you is merchandise. So learn from Marvel and be smart about merch, be intelligent about it. Don't spend so much money on it, and again, be wise and kind of weave your brand into your merch. So again, it leaves them wanting more. Another thing that you can do is, when you have merch, take one of the cheap ones and give that free when you give out your product. Like, I don't know what product you guys have, but what I do for my businesses, like, I'll print a book, but I'll give a bag free, and that bag, it may cost me a little bit, but what happens is, you received it in my brand bag, and you've got a bag to shop. So my audience is a person who goes to the vegetable market and buys things, who doesn't, so what happens is, they get a bag which they can then use for shopping. So that's what I think about. Of course, I'm still learning planning strategy, social media engagement with audiences, leaving cliffhangers with my work, and having merchandise. But these are the lessons that I have learned from Marvel, and you can too. So that's all there is in terms of this. I am so excited about Endgame. I'm going to be staying up early morning to book my tickets on Monday. And so tell me what you thought about this. I am going to post this on YouTube as well, and I'm going to hopefully blog about this if I remember the points. But marketing is really much more easier than people make it out to be. It's not about me being a natural. I actually don't enjoy marketing that much. But when you are planned and strategic, if you really put some thought into what you want to market, all these things fall into place. So all the best for your business, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Leave me a voice message if you want, telling me what you thought, and I would love to hear from you. So till then, enjoy, and let me know how you can't let me know how you thought of Endgame, but I will let you know what I thought of Endgame, probably in a review or something around that. So for now, enjoy, and I'll catch you in the next episode. This is PLANETSANG, that's sangeetaangelakumar, and this is episode number 16. Bye.